What's up everyone, and today we're going to be making this all new checkpoint system. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. What's up everybody, I hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. Thanks for clicking on the video. And so today we're going to be making this all new checkpoint system. So the checkpoint system consists of multiple checkpoints that disappear when you do come in contact, and then they do have an endpoint. So what you're going to want to do is get your Explorer and Property tab out, and then I'm going to go ahead and insert a part. So I'm going to start it off as like the checkpoint thing, and then you can activate these throughout my other videos. I have ways of activating stuff like this. So for the most part, we're going to turn off Can Glide and make sure you turn Anchored on. If you turn off Can Glide and you leave Anchored off, it's just going to fall to the floor. So that's how we can start the first checkpoint, is we can set it up like that, and then make sure you guys are naming your checkpoints. For my first checkpoint, I'm going to call it 1. Then for my second one, you bet, we're going to call it 2. So I'm going to keep doing this, maybe 1, 2, space them out, duplicate it, press Control or Command D, depending on your platform, to duplicate. As you can see, I'm just going 1, 2, 3. So now that I have all my 5 checkpoints laid out, I'm going to select all of them and then group them together, making sure that they're all Can Glide is off and that they're anchored. Now I'm going to go ahead and just name the model checkpoint system. As you can see, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's my checkpoints. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a script. Now I'm going to call this checkpoint handler. Now the name of the script, this doesn't really matter. The name of the model doesn't really matter. The only names that do matter are the names of your checkpoints. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the players, and I'm going to use that getting the get service, game get service players. So now what I'm going to do is, without the S at the end, I'm going to do player in all caps equals nil. So I just want to create a variable first, and that's how we're going to do that. Then we're going to create, with the little curly braces, points. So now we have our points of contact with the checkpoints. Then we have our DB, which is debounce, and we're going to set that to false. So for all the pairs in script.parent.getChildren, so what we're going to do is, in the model, if we do have the checkpoints, so this allows you to make it for multiple checkpoints. Like, you don't have to just do 5. The way it's set up is you could do maybe like 50 or 60 depending on what matches your game. So because we do have the script inside of the model, we have to take that into account. So what we're going to do is, if P, so P is all the parts or all the children inside of our model here. I'm trying to explain it as basic as possible so you guys can really understand. And if it is a part, and the script is not a part, so it's not going to include it, but the rest of everything is a part. So we're going to do P is, if P is a part, then table.insert points.p, and then we're going to insert every point that we do have into our points table. Now, if p.name does not equal 1, then p.transparency equals 1. And what that's going to do is it's going to set our first checkpoint to be visible. Or I'm sorry, we're going to do our first checkpoint to be visible while all the rest of them are not visible to the player. Now this is a service script, so everybody is going to see this while it's happening, so all players can see it. It's not local. And then what we're going to do is for IV and pairs points. So for all the checkpoints that we do have, in this case I have 5, we're going to say if the number of points is greater than 0, so if we do have some points remaining, we're going to say v.touched connect. So even though Can Glide is off, you can still use the touch function. I use the touch function in almost every one of my videos that involve parts. So we're going to do a simple touch function. By now, if you're watching the other videos on the channel, you'll notice that this is routine for me. I always use the touch function or the click function or the hit, well, which is the touch function. We're going to set our debounce to true. And then we're going to do player equals players get player from character hit.parent. Because we used that player equals nil variable earlier, which was nil. Nil means nothing. Now we're going to actually set it to be something. So what this is doing here, I know it looks a little complicated because the for IV and pairs loop always gets to seem a little complicated, but in reality it's not. And we're going to do v.transparency equals 1. Transparency equals 1 means make it invisible. So then we're going to say if I, so what is I, you ask? That's what point we're currently touching or we're currently on. So if I, so if we're currently on, does not equal the amount of points, for example, so if we're on 4, 4 does not equal the max amount of points we have. 4 does not equal 5 in this case. Then we're going to go ahead and find the first child of v.name, which is the next point, and we're going to set that transparency to 0.5 so we can see it. So what we're doing is, if we have not reached the max checkpoint, then we'll get the next one, we'll find the next one, and we'll set that so we can see it, so we can go ahead and touch that, and then we can keep going. But else, if we have reached the max checkpoint, then we'll go ahead and print finished checkpoints. And then here I made a little comment. Here we can do something for our player using the reference player. So that this is the player. This is not just the model, so we can do player and then give it some money, or we can do something like that. So once we do have our 5 checkpoints, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in order here, we can go ahead and just check these out. I just did a little tidying up, make sure they're all good. Go ahead and press play. Boom. Boom. And now this is our third one. This is our fourth one, and notice how the next one gets visible. And as you can see in the output right below, finished checkpoints. And the server also sees that in the handler on line 27. So this is our scripts right here. This is super easy. It's only 35 lines of code. So if you guys do want to go ahead and copy this down, and I'm not going to be leaving this place in the description. It is very short lines of code, only 35. And I really want you guys to learn how to do this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great time coding. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and place those in the comment section and go and smash the like button. Have a great day.